So, mage, huh? What's it like?
To have all this power at my fingertips.
No, to always have to wear a skirt. Yeah.
Oh, you don't know the story behind the robes. You know how strict things are in the circle, right? Well, of course you do. Well, the robes make quick trysts in the corner easy. No laces or buttons, you're just... well, you're done before the Templars catch on.
Really?
Just ask anyone.
What?
What?
You were staring at me, you man-skirt-wearing freak.
Oh, I thought you were being attacked by a wild animal. It was only your beard.
You think you're so clever, don't you? Sparkle fingers.
You're quite the dirty little dwarf, aren't you?
You're quite the dirty little mage.
I do my best. Still, I'm no ale-swilling mountain of belches like you.
And I'm no winking, slack-jawed coward like you.
True. We should form a club.
People talk about me stinking up the joint.
What are you on about now?
Cat piss. Little kitty there makes me want to vomit.
Don't listen to him, Sir Pouncelot. You smell just fine. You don't actually think your jokes are funny, do you?
Could have sworn that fly was buzzing again.
Har! Let me tell you about my life in one word.
Oh no, don't take me back to the tower. I'm far, far too delicate.
I'm not only a dwarf, I'm a moron. Listen to me fart.
Oh no, big Templar man. What are you going to do with that sword?
Ew.
Don't play with fire unless you want to get burned, son. Yeah, women are drawn to you when you play with that cat.
Like moths to a flame. Women like it when men show affection for small, fuzzy, defenseless beings. Like you.
Yeah, stupid mage. Every time I pull something out of my robes, the women just flee.
I'm just going to assume that something died in your mouth.
Funny story. Dwarf attacks mage, dwarf wins.
Yeah, I noticed how you pissed in your armor in that last fight. Well done.
Thank you. I'll be here all week.
Why did you even want to be a Grey Warden? You thought it would make for great drinking stories?
I can't believe you survived the joining.
You got drunk and made a bet, didn't you?
I bet you I could crush your tiny human skull.
I bet I could drink you under the table.
You're on.
You don't always wear robes, do you?
Not when I'm naked, I don't.
I mean when you run from the circle. Robes would make you easy to spot.
So does the big I'm a mage sign around my neck. I like to make it easy for the Templars.
Ah, so that's how it's going to be. You seem rather attached to that cat, Anders.
It's more that he's rather attached to me. Isn't that right, Sir Pouncelot?
Isn't that name a little ridiculous?
What do you think I should call him? Frederick?
There are worse names, I suppose.
So, you're a How?
Do you have a point, mage?
Hey, I'm fond of the Hows. I'm also fond of the whys, the whos, and the whats.
How clever.
It's shameful how long it took me to come up with that.
How do the Templars always find you, Anders?
Incredibly angry. That's how they find me.
There must be some trick to it, surely.
They began recruiting women. The male Templars never stopped to ask for directions.
You're impossible to talk to.
I do my best. You know, Nathaniel, you're just like me.
Am I now?
Everyone hates your family for something terrible they did, even though you weren't involved.
I hope you have a point, Anders.
It's like you're a mage. If there were more Hows, they'd lock all of you up in a tower to protect everyone else.
A thrilling analogy. I've thought about what you said, Anders. The comparison between my family and mages. It's idiotic. I'm not about to transform into an abomination simply for being a How.
I didn't say it was a perfect analogy.
Being a How also does not allow me to control your mind.
Kinda missing my point, aren't you?
I am not a fan of oversimplifications.
Fine, fine. Your loss. Why do spirits seek out mages? I've always wondered.
You speak of demons. I am not a demon.
Aren't demons simply spirits with unique and sparkling personalities?
They have been perverted by their desires.
But what do they want from mages?
Perhaps they wish the same as I. Silence! I see that your feline companion remains with you.
He seems happy enough. Isn't that right, Sir Pounce-a-lot?
To enslave another creature does not seem just.
He's not a slave. He's a friend. And he's also a cat.
A cat that lacks freedom.
Oh, just ignore him, Sir Pounce-a-lot. They don't have pets in the Fade, apparently.
I understand that you struggle against your oppression, mage.
I avoid my oppression. That's not quite the same thing, is it?
Why do you not strike a blow against your oppressors? Ensure they can do this to no one else.
Because it sounds difficult?
Apathy is a weakness.
So is death. I'm just saying.
I believe you have a responsibility to your fellow mages.
That bit of self-righteousness is directed at me.
You have seen oppression and are now free. You must act to free those who remain oppressed.
Or I could mind my business in case the Chantry comes knocking.
But this is not right. You have an obligation.
Yes, well, welcome to the world, Spirit. Are you saying that you could become a demon, Justice?
I said no such thing.
You said that demons were spirits perverted by their desires.
I have no such desires.
You must have some desires.
I have none. Desist your questions.
I apologize, Justice. I didn't mean to suggest you would become a demon.
I should certainly hope not.
I just wondered what relation there is between spirits and demons. Demons are a worry to any mage.
I do not know what makes demons as they are. Such evil angers me, but I do not understand it.
Well, I hope you never come to understand.
I as well, mage. More than you could possibly know.
Is there some great ceremony when someone joins the Legion of the Dead?
It's called a funeral.
Right, but is it boring and somber like a regular funeral? I mean, you're not burying anyone.
This is true. Dwarven funerals involve a great deal of ale and singing. Then there's an orgy.
What? You're kidding!
Of course I'm kidding.
So you never told me what the ceremony was like.
It begins with chanting and toasts. Then we bid our families farewell. Then wailing and tears.
That does sound like a funeral. How depressing.
We're not the Legion of jaunty pub songs.
But think how much easier recruitment would be if you were.
You should let Sir Pounce-a-lot out more. Must be stuffy in that robe.
Out? You mean out to play with the Darkspawn? Such a great idea.
All right, I see your point.
So what does the Legion do when you're not, you know, dying?
I'm not sure. We do that a lot.
You can't do it all hours of the day. There must be some times when you're not out getting killed.
In those hours, we listen to smart-mouthed mages ask stupid questions.
I always thought dwarves would be nicer.
I always thought mages would be smarter.
You seem fascinated with Sir Pounce-a-lot.
We don't have cats in Orzammar. Well, maybe some nobles have them if they buy them from a surface merchant.
Everyone needs a pet.
Well, I had a nug once, for about an hour, before my uncle slaughtered him and ate him.
Perhaps one day we could sit down to discuss magic.
What would that accomplish? Sharing? You mean stealing, of course, followed by crushing those you stole from.
You know that chip on your shoulder? I think it's replaced your head. Have I ever told you that I find tattoos on women incredibly attractive?
Have I ever told you that I find most humans physically and morally repulsive?
Good to know.
The chip on my shoulder hasn't replaced my head.
Whoa! She's talking to me. Voluntarily. Check the sky for flying pigs.
Forget it.
I'm sorry. I couldn't help myself.
Humans and their irrepressible urges.